What's going on, everybody? It's your man Chuck Creekmer from AllHipHop.com, here to talk to three legends in the hip-hop game. T-Money, Dr. Dre, and Ed Lover, the stars of many things, quite frankly. But, yo, MTV Raps, what's going on, y'all?
What's up there, Chuck? What's happening, bro?
Thanks for having us, brother. Hello.
Hey, man, you know what it is, man. I definitely had to get you guys on our platform to pay homage for one, but also just to talk to you. You know, it's been wow, forever since I've been seeing you guys in many forms, by the way, not just MTV. So we're gonna definitely chop it up about all the things that you've been into and are going to be into. So I wanted to start actually right now in the here and the now to talk about your latest venture that you have coming up, which is a talk show venture, and if you could give us the scoop on that.
Certified is our brand new venture. Is probably like we haven't really worked together closely in a while, so we're trying to figure out a way that we can do something that would make sense. And Certified is that vehicle, because we're grown men now. We still got the same opinions. We still got the love for the culture, the music, and music in general. So Certified is a way to take what we do best, which is have fun and mix it with some politics and mix it with pop culture and bring it all together under one umbrella. So that's what Certified is. That's our new venture. Certified. Because we certified. We the reason why we can do that.
Definitely. What made you guys come together for this show? Like, what was the inspiration?
Well, it was time. It was time for us to actually get together, man. We haven't been together in a while, and we felt that the things that were going on in the music and in entertainment as a whole needed our voice. You know, for quite some time we were the voice of the hip hop culture, and we did so many things as far as influencing the hip hop culture and its growth. And I thought that right now it would be a great time for us to actually get together and put a show like this together, because the show has no central point right now. There has no focal point as to where you can go for all the information and what's happening and what's current. It's kind of scattered,
Mm-hmm.
and it's emblematic as to what's going on with hip hop culture as a whole. So I thought it was the greatest time right now, especially politically and everything that's going on, especially with the way 2020 went down. It's great for us to get together and kind of make this a grounded accomplishment of things that are going to be happening moving forward. So this is the best time for it, and I think we're right on point, with our knowledge and history and and our love for the music, man. I think it's a good thing for us to do it right now.
And what role will each of you occupy?
Somebody got to talk that grown man shit, man.
Yeah.
That's really much what it boils down to. Like, we did some shit together about a year ago, and it just felt good to be together again. And it was like, yo, ain't nobody talking that grown man shit. Like, we grew up and we grown and we got kids and families, and ain't nobody talking that grown man shit. Everybody's everybody's talking from the perspective of a kid. And we talking that grown man shit, and that's exactly what it is. We grew up, and our audience grew up with us, and ain't nobody out there representing them.
Mm-hmm.
People that still love hip hop, but we know that all of that shit ain't good for us. Like, we know we don't like all of it, but there's some of it that we really, really like. There's some dope ass MCs and DJs out there that we and they brand new, and we still like them, and that's what we're here for. To have some fun. That's the number one thing, is to act like three jackasses like we always been, but to have some fun and give it to you from a grown man's layman's perspective. Everybody's so stuffy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really raw.
That's exactly
what Chappelle said when he was doing his special about shout out to Key and Peele. There's some people out there doing our shit. We ain't gonna say who they are, but they know who the fuck they are. They doing our shit. So now we gonna do our shit.
Yeah.
And we do our shit better than you can do our shit. So that's what it is.
That's the cross you bear, being a pioneer, someone who does something first. Yeah. So that's definitely gonna ask you, Dre. What would be your role in the show?
I play the blind guy. I'm the guy that bumps into people, knocks them off. I cause problems. I say things that really don't matter, but most people like to listen to me because I use a little bit of intelligence and a lot of humor. And, you know, it's good working with people that you love, and it's good working and being a part of this because guess what? The one thing about what we did is we united so many people doing what we did, not just on Yo, but what we did on Hot 97, what we did on Power 105. Even when we were out in LA at the beat, we united people. That was our major goal. We wanted to make sure that everybody that was involved got an opportunity. And that's basically, you know, what we still want to do.
Yeah. You know, I was just talking to somebody just the other day about you guys and other platforms similar, but definitely Yo MTV Raps in that, you know, right now, and I talk to my daughter a lot, she's a teenager, and I'm like, the problem with your generation, I'm doing my old man thing, is y'all don't have a central place where everybody gets on the same page about who's dope, who's whack. You know, we for better or worse, this is why we probably won't see a lot of super duper stars coming out of hip hop anymore because everybody's in their own little pocket.
Yeah, because it's not about unity anymore. It's about individuality. It's about everybody being an individual. You know what I mean?
Technology bringing us together, making us do what needs to be done. When you don't come out of your house and you don't play basketball, and you don't walk down the street, and you don't do just normal things that human beings do. And I ain't talking about what's going on with COVID. It makes you seem very distanced. So no, I wouldn't want to say to those young people, oh, what you guys do is wrong. I say what we did and what we're going to do because we're moving forward and we're going to understand and listen to what they want to discuss. We want to bring that together. We like to build the bridges, not create the divides.
That's without all question. To piggyback off of what Dre is saying, we like to build the bridges. Right now, everything is about individuality. We don't. You see in hip hop, there are no more groups. People don't work together. Everybody's individual. Everybody wants to be a star over here, a star over there. Nobody's trying to be unified in regards to what we're doing, and you know, it's tragic. So we're going to be bringing that back because this is what we've always been about.
Yeah, no doubt. And by the way, me and my daughter have a great relationship, so we don't fight about it. It's more of a transfer of opinions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like
a little bit, right?
Yeah, my dad used to clown me, you know, because James Brown was sampled so heavy. He said James Brown was the godfather of hip hop, and it used to get on my nerves. But he was right, you know. So it brought us together.
We gotta do when we get grown. We gotta stop acting like we ain't have whack MCs. I say that all the time. We have a lot of trash. There's a lot of trash. And there's a lot of trash that were hit records in some of these groups, man, was trash. So we hear trash now. We want to get that ain't real hip hop. When we had hip hop, everybody was dope. No, it wasn't. We had a lot of
They had a lot of trash, and keep in mind that is not the case. Every other form of music, that's the case. Everybody got trash. Don't get it twisted.
How did y'all deal?
Country western got trash. Rock and roll got trash. Hip hop got trash. Everybody got trash.
Everybody got trash.
We're not alone in our quest for having trash. Trust that.
Right.
You know,
How did y'all deal with it? How did y'all deal with that when somebody maybe perhaps was whack came to the show?
Shit, I dealt with it best I can. We try to make everybody feel comfortable, but shit, if you was whack, you was just I was happy when your segment was over, so you can get out of here, B.
Well, what it is, we couldn't really judge them.
His name all the time, but he came on the set and he pushed his chest out and he thought he was incredible, and he just totally turned us off and he got up and stormed off the set. And we just kind of looked at him like, what?
Who was that?
I can't remember his name, but he was from England at the time.
That's the French dude.
Yeah, I remember him. I forgot his name. I know you're talking about.
Trash.
He got angry.
Yeah, he got real upset.
What, MC Solar?
Why?
No, it wasn't Solar. It wasn't Solar.
It wasn't the Solar that was with Guru. It was that first Solar dude.
Yeah, MC Solar. MC Solar.
Yeah, it's not the one you're thinking about.
It was him.
Somebody else.
What him?
I remember. Yeah.
But we gave everybody an equal opportunity, though. We didn't just say you were whack. You weren't going to play
MTV Raps.
You know,
it was a platform so that you could actually go and be yourself and make, you know, what you do and can make you look great if you contributed to what the show was about. The thing we're doing now with Certified is the same thing. But now we look at it from a perspective of, you know what? We've been there, done that. What do you got to offer? So let's check out what you're doing, and you can check out what makes our era, why people like it so much. But we also understand these new youngsters and these some adults that do this. They got a platform for themselves too with the technology. I mean, we didn't have an American Idol coming up when we were doing this. We didn't have The Voice. We didn't have The Masked Singer. We didn't have any of that. I mean, as I said, we dealt with a lot of artists that really weren't as great as they professed to be.
It was wax, huh?
The thing is, we opened the opportunity up, which was most
y'all
important.
too nice, man. Y'all giving Chuck the nice interview. I'm giving Chuck the real shit.
No,
we like the wax niggas.
All y'all can't talk at the same time.
We can't all go off.
You gotta do that.
Stop being nice, man. We know we used to be in the back like, who's this motherfucker they made come on your MTV Raps? We don't want to talk to this whack ass motherfucker. But we did.
Like the time we were throwing CDs up the truck.
We was decent to him, but we knew, hurry up. So take this 2 segments and get the fuck out of here. Just whack ass. We didn't want to show the video.
All right, here you go.
Here you go.
I'll be honest with you. To be honest with you, there were a few major players when they first started out with a funky bunch that got down, and we said, oh, come on, man, you got to be kidding me. But as we got to know them as people and give them an opportunity, we said, all right, we could tolerate that. But there was always
Donnie was my man, too.
Excuse me?
And Donnie was my man. You know Donnie Wahlberg is my man.
I'm trying to be nice.
Fuck with Donnie Hardbach.
The one thing that we did fight against, and we were upset, is even when Hammer was doing what he was doing, but when Vanilla Ice showed up to the scene with it,
that nigga was whack.
Issues. Not that we hated Vanilla Ice, but it was like, come on, you can't do this to us because you're whitewashing what the music was about.
Right.
It really was. But if you look at it now in longevity and looking at, wow, look who's still around. He's still around. His song is still relevant, as well as people like Young MC, who we would have felt, oh, Young MC was this. But when you look at it in the long haul, Young MC is still one of the most popular MCs of all time.
That's very true. This is very true. So Tone Loc, for that matter.
Tone Loc.
But we always like Tone Loc, though.
Tone Loc was real. Tone Loc was real.
Like Tone. We did. Them college boys, we weren't too fond of them.
Oh, yeah, college boys, I don't know about them.
Skinny boys. I mean, Philly give out some dope MCs, but the Skinny Boys, God, come on, God.
Oh, hold up. See, come on, bro. The Human Jock Box was dope.
Come on, bro. No.
Yeah, he was.
Chris Markey and Dougie Preston, come on, man.
Come on, bro. You gonna disrespect the Human Jock Box? I got that tape right over there somewhere in a box.
Human Jock Box.
I want to Skinny Boys. If I see them, they were nice dudes. Like, it took a while. Like when we went to Russia. And Vanilla Ice was with us. That's when we really got to know Vanilla Ice. But when he first came out, we was like, man, get the fuck out of here. This just bullshit. It's just like somebody created a rapper. You know what I mean? But we didn't feel like it was from the heart.
That's what he was. He was definitely creation.
They created. And then that Cool as Ice shit. But that beat, we can't deny that motherfucking beat was hard on that record.
Yeah.
He did that shit right. Although his rhymes was trash. But that's
he's Basuda, as they were saying.
How about our man that went for Interscope for a long time, made a great career over at Interscope as executive, but he came out that Rico Suave bullshit. Remember that shit, Rico?
You got to hand it to us. When we would do spring breaks, and he would come out and do that Rico Suave thing, he had them chicks swooning.
He was whack though, bro. He was whack though. He's trash.
There's a lot of one-hit wonders out there, bro. A lot of one-hit wonders.
Shelly D, nigga. The nigga Bismarck trying to put out his cousin Shelly D. You remember Shelly D? I want to die. Ladies know his name is Shelly D. Shelly D was trash, dog.
Oh man, Shelly D is gonna see this.
That nigga was whack as fuck, dog. Come on, dog.
Shelly D gonna have a response record by the end of the week.
Hey, listen, I like Shelly D, even Bismarck couldn't save you with that one a night shit. That shit was bad.
Oh man, I can't imagine, bro. Oh my god, this show's gonna be good. I can already feel the energy, man.
Did Kwame put out the rest of them niggas like without him? Did he do that? There's a lot of niggas that did crazy shit like that.
Yeah,
Kwame put out a new beginning and he wasn't even rhyming like on the shit. There's a lot of niggas, huh? lot of whacks. Man. Every crew had whack niggas. Huh?
That's right. That's
true,
right.
True indeed.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
Even the best crews.
Yeah.
The best crews.
But see, Ed, you picking easy targets now. See, you picking easy targets, man.
Yeah, well, I got to say what I can remember right off the top of my head. I just remember that. That shit was fucking horrible. Though.
Now, what about? Okay, so I'm veering off script now. But what about some of the Wu-Tang cats that wasn't?
Oh yeah, a lot of them offshoot niggas. Like a lot of them other Wu affiliate niggas. A lot of them Son of Seven and all of them. Yeah, no, nigga, come on, man. Let's be 100%. If you wasn't like Wu, right?
Yeah.
If you wasn't like in that original Wu, all of them extra Wu.
Oh man.
Let me be responsible here,
everybody man. Everybody got whackness around them somewhere. They just keep that shit away from them. That's all it is.
Yeah. Right.
They just keep it away from them, bro.
Yeah. Well, look, I want to
down the kid. Huh? We can't just say that the era of hip hop is whack because we had super whack.
Right. Yeah. To the point, right.
Well, I want to backtrack just a little bit here, and I want you guys to run down your individual credits. Now, I know your credits. I know your credits, and I even did some research to just reconfirm what I know. But can each of you run down your credits, starting with Dre?
Oh no, I'm not gonna start. You always go. Why you got to come to the blind guy to start?
Oh, come on.
We ain't heard from T. Let me hear from T first.
Okay.
Then I'll run my credits down.
All right.
My credits are distinctive and wonderful, and Ed's gonna grade it off with a hard buzzsaw and a razor. So let's go. You know, light, medium to heavy, dark.
Okay.
All right. T-Money, go ahead and tell us your credentials.
I feel I'm really being interviewed now. Hey, sir, did I get the job, sir? Did I get the job?
Yes, sir.
My credentials, I guess we can start with my credentials with Dr. Dre. Me and Dr. Dre were street DJs from Long Island. We had a group called The Concept. From there, we formulated a DJ group. I don't know. We went straight to WBAU from there. I feel funny doing this myself, but we did BAU. We went on the radio. Then we went to the MTV Raps, and then we went to, do great things. I don't know, man. Like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I feel like you didn't. I don't get it, bro. I just don't get it.
What?
I can give you all my credentials, but I feel crazy. I can talk about my company. I got a new company called T450 Style and Launch. It's a boutique marketing company, and we've had great success over the last 8 years. We started in 2012. As you know, I did Your Own TV Raps with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. I did Who's the Man. I don't know. I did DBLS with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. I did all kind of stuff, man. So I give them my credit. I feel crazy doing that. But yeah, I've been in the business for quite some time. Been in the business since I was 18. I was in a group called Original Concept, which was on Def Jam. We won the first 5 artists on Def Jam, myself and Dr. Dre in Original Concept. The Junkyard Band, LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, Tila Rock, and Original Concept. Mm-hmm. So, we've been here for a minute. You know what I mean? So it just seemed kind of strange that I was interviewing myself, but it's all good.
Well, yeah, I don't mean. Okay.
Why do you have on your mask?
Because y'all niggas got COVID, son. That's why.
Yeah.
My bullshit.
I didn't mean to be awkward with the question, but there's going to be people that see this that are not as well versed as me.
Okay, that's all good. I just felt kind of crazy interviewing myself at the time.
Nah. I mean, hey, we don't even have to do this. I could just ask y'all something. Let me. You know what? Forget about it. no credentials need to be run down.
My shit is too long to write down, son. I'm the international man of mystery, so I got my credentials is fucking crazy right now. You know, these things take you all day. I remember somebody asked me, I was doing this thing, and they asked me to write my credentials down so they could, you know, introduce me properly. And then they was starting to introduce me, and I was like, damn, I shouldn't have wrote that shit. That shit took too long. Like, I did a lot of shit, man. A lot of stuff with Dre and T, and a lot of stuff on my own. It's been a hell of a ride, bro. My IMDb is crazy. I mean, from No Face to Yo and to all that shit. I feel like T is too much shit.
Yeah, that's my point. I was like, he just threw me off.
Whenever somebody say, yo, you don't know who this is, this head lover, blah, blah, blah. You know what I say? Google me, bro.
Yeah, come on. Google do it better than I can.
Google do it better than me. It's too much.
There's a lot of things, man. So, I mean, if you're going to keep that, hey, Chuck, you're going to keep that? Don't keep that.
Well, we can edit it.
For real, a lot of times, like, Dre and I start talking about what we did. People forget about the hip hopper thing we did with the Fat Boys. People forget about the CBS special that we did with Phil Collins.
That's right. We did a CBS special. Yep.
It's just, it's a lot. Like, it's
a lot of stuff, man.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You'd be better off asking us our biggest disappointment than asking us what we did.
Yeah.
Well, that's on the list. That's on the list. So we're gonna get to that. But let me say this to y'all. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. And this is slightly why I asked that question. So I'm gonna give you a little story. So Tyrese is my man, and I was sitting down with Tyrese at an event he did. And Tyrese, you know Tyrese, larger than life personality. He sits me right next to Run from Run DMC, and I'm a big Run DMC fan. We cool, blah blah blah. So Run didn't really have much to say. You know what I mean? He wasn't really too, he wasn't too personable, I guess is the best way to say it. But at the end of the event, I got up and I was like, you know what, man? Proud to be black. Changed my life. You know, the song Proud to be Black. I said, it changed my life. And he was just like, and kept it moving. I was like, energy, what's going on here? So come to find out, I didn't know Run DMC did not write Proud to be Black.
No, they didn't.
I didn't know. I mean, that's one of the most transformative songs of my entire life. So now I'm feeling like I know why he didn't give me no energy for that
one. Wow. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know why he could have said something instead of going like
how that song came to be and why the credits fell the way they did, because it was created actually at Chung King with myself and T-Money, me programming a DMX drum machine for the first time and coming up with the beat, and then Rick and Russell, and they said, "Yo, man, y'all need to just write the whole song." I said, "Well, let me take the beat home," and we called up our friend Rapper G, who was working with us on original concept, and told G, we got to do this by tomorrow. And they wanted an anthem song that was moving towards the pro-black radical mix at the time. And because I signed the group Public Enemy to Def Jam, they said, well, Dre knows, T knows, so let's do it. So we brought Rapper G into the studio, and he just laid the lyrics down on the tape. And Running D walked in the studio and did it exactly word for word what he put on that piece of paper. And the rest is pretty much kind of hip-hop history, but you're going to have to check out the book to understand Yo Biggest Stuff, the Dr. Dre episodes 1983 to 1995, which discusses all that behind-the-scene Def Jam stuff and some of the craziness of those early days. We're blessed to actually contribute to that album, Raising Hell, but it would have been nice also to get a check. That's probably why Rum wasn't talking too much.
Wow. Yeah, that was crazy to hear. But yeah, I mean, so when I say credentials, it's little nuanced things like that I feel like need to be known, and that's just how I feel about it. So I'm not trying to force you to.
I'm gonna co-sign what Ed said about us going over our history, because we get this all the time. The first question somebody says is, "Well, tell us how you got started," and I usually tell them seriously, I said, well, my mother and my father got together sometime in late March, and whatever got them inspired. 9 months later, I popped out. That's how I got started. I said, it's very difficult for us to reach back. I mean, some of the stuff we've got written down, it's chronicled, and you can go through Google, but people still are in shock that we actually were hosting on 97 radio before there was anybody else doing it. People were in shock that we opened up Power 105 New York the way we did. They're like, oh, I can't believe you guys did that. And there's a lot of evidence to all that stuff. But because we don't celebrate our hip-hop legends, our rap legends, the way they do in rock and roll, the way they do in country western, the way they do in even Beethoven's 250th birthday coming up, there's a different celebration. In hip-hop and in rap music, we try to be dismissive of those who came before us. That's why I always give credit to people like Grandmaster Flash, the Treacherous Three, DJ Hollywood, of course, great DJs like Infinity Machine, great DJs like the Disco Twins, King Charles, and of course, the one and only king of rap, Curtis Blow. My blessings go out to that brother who just got a new heart. I was on
no doubt.
I was on a show, and check this out. I was doing this like not 2 years ago. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, hold it, wait, that's played out, hit it. And I asked one of those, do you know what that is? And they said, no. I said, but you just talked about the king of rap. Who's that? Curtis Blow. No clue. No clue.
Yeah. No clue about Eddie Chiba. No clue about Woody Wood. Like all of these dudes, there's Silver Fox, the Treacherous Three, Love Bug Starsky. No clue about.
You know what else? You know what else they don't have a clue about, Ed?
The world's greatest entertainer, absolutely.
You know what they don't have a clue about? Dre's career as a stripper.
Charlie Pride died. Many of the people were sobbing, like, "Oh my God, Charlie Pride died." You talk to any rock and roll fan, and you talk about any one of these bands. I mean, even people that still perform today, from Elton John, Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, they got nothing but respect for their legacy for what was done. For some reason, we try to keep it like it didn't matter, and that's the one thing again that we say about MTV Raps.
In the hip hop
matters, man. It matters. I disagree vehemently with you, Dre. It matters, and I think especially since like 2018 going on to today, I see dudes giving out flowers all the time. I get my flowers all the time. I be on Clubhouse. They give me my flowers. If it wasn't for dudes like Chuck putting us on AllHipHop and platform, we get our flowers, man. It may not be as mainstream, but there is a disconnect between the younger audience and the older audience because they're not taught that. So we can't blame them for something that they're not taught. In the different genres of music, there's always been a throwback station or rock and roll station where their parents taught them about the rock and roll and stuff. But there are, man, all these young people, I'm telling you, from the Migos to Slim Thug to all of these dudes, man. Whenever I ran across any of these young dudes, from Kendrick Lamar to any of them, always gave me my flowers. So I'm not going to allow you to ever say that these young people out here that's doing hip hop right now are not giving us our props and not giving us our flowers. They fucking are. They are. You just maybe you want more than what's available.
Insinuate that. I'm a person building bridges. Excuse me?
They're giving us our props, bro, all the time.
Ed, you get the flowers. I get messages too from all sides. I didn't say that. I didn't want to insinuate that. I'm one who tries to say we need to build that, cross that gap, build that bridge, and we constantly need to make that so they understand it for all of us. We started out somewhere.
You can't blame somebody for what they wasn't taught, bro. You come from a different era. That's a whole different conversation. Because that's got to do with parenting and all of that other shit. Like
hip hop historically has been about older generation and younger generation. This is real. And we don't. And back to us having a platform. Hold on, guys. Back to us having a platform to be able to teach our younger up and coming artists is very important. And we don't have that. But all we have is for the most part dissension amongst the ranks, because the younger crowd is making more money because they generate more income. So the big companies pay more attention to them. You understand? So and that forms a bitter energy. A lot of times, a lot of the old hip hop artists, that feel they still have talent. They go out and perform. Just like a couple years ago, I had one of my clients. His name, they're on YouTube. They're big YouTube artists. Okay, they did some stuff with Hot 97. It was incredible. They did Summer Jam. They did Summer Jam. Summer Jam they used Giant Stadium. They packed Giant Stadium. That was the same year that we did the MTV Raps 30th anniversary. We packed the Barclays Center, but if you see the disparity in regards to the attention, based on who generates the most money. You understand? It's all about the dollars and cents. At the end of the day, it's about the dollars and cents. But we need to come together, like we're about to do with this show, and change that narrative. That narrative needs to be changed so we can all prosper.
Right.
There's no unity in what we're doing right now.
Can I jump in right now, bro? Can I jump in right now? Cats is profit, man. There's a market out there for it. Y'all know it. We tried to throw the MTV Raps tour to go out. Y'all know it. There's a market out there for it. There's people that are packing in to see Naughty and Vanilla Ice and Tone Loc and Young MC and all of them. There's a market for this shit. There is a huge market, and that's where your props come from. To say that a 22-year-old kid was not going to go see BB King, dog, and a 22-year-old kid ain't coming to see us. There is a market for it. So that's right. Move on, and you get I'm telling you, your props is there, homie. I'm telling you, they did.
Yeah.
I talked to them. I interviewed them through my podcast, Come On, Son, and they love the shit out of what we laid down because they learned it from their parents, dog.
And to your point, you're right. I am in 100% agreement.
It's supposed to be a generational divide. They're not supposed to love Kane.
It's not. They're not.
They respect him, but to them, Jay-Z is old. It happened.
Yeah, this is fact. Pharrell old. Jay-Z is old.
Right.
All these people. Lil' Kim is old. You understand? So
Pharrell be trying.
With us.
But they'll rock with us because there's a market out there for
it. They got respect, bro. I'm telling you, I'm around them all the time via my podcast. They respect the shit out of us, bro.
The problem is the corporations. Listen, I've been in meetings. I've been in marketing meetings where these corporations don't want to invest in our demographic because they don't feel our demographic is going to spend the money. They don't have the disposable income that will have. But we do have a market. We got a market,
but that disposable dollar is that young. You think we thinking now, bro. We thinking. We got mortgages, we got kids, we got college funds. We ain't doing this. We ain't just throwing money away. When the last time we sprayed the club with $10,000-$15,000 in strip club? Not doing it. So it makes sense for them to market towards where they're gonna where somebody's just gonna go spend money. It's a pandemic, and Kylie just made $530 million off of makeup because it's that disposable money that the young people are going to spend. They love you, they respect you, but it's your market, is your market. As you grow and grow older, you become a different kind of a brand to people, and your market is different from everybody else's market.
Right.
Shit. That's what it is.
Right. I agree.
So let me ask y'all, just to get to sort of some of the granulars about Yo MTV Raps. What do you think is the legacy of the show? As it is,
easy.
I
think the simplest way to put it is what Yo MTV Raps did was take hip hop from a regional to an international.
Right.
From a regional to a national to an international. People in New York, in Long Island, in Boston, and all over the world and all over the country, wherever we were on at, got to see what was going on in the Bay Area. Without that, they would have never known who Too Short was. They would have never known who any of those Bay Area artists that came out during that time was. New York got a taste of LA. They got a taste of Ice-T. You know, the Wu-Tang got, you got a taste of what was going on with Dre and Cube and all of them. That every other show was regional or local. We were an international show. That's the difference.
Were you guys ever competitive, I should say, with Rap City? Were y'all ever?
No. We didn't have any competition at the time. We didn't have any competition. Our show was the number one show on the network.
Yeah.
No, you know why? Because like I just said, we were international.
Yeah.
A lot of I've met people. I remember I walked into an AT&T store and a Nigerian dude said, "Man, brother, you and Dre, I learned to speak English off of watching you and Dre on your MTV Rap." They did not have BET, bro.
No,
they didn't have it. They didn't have it. It just wasn't on that level. They didn't have it. We were all over the place. When you go outside of the country and people are coming to see you like crazy, they wasn't doing that for Chris Spencer, who was the original host of the rap show over there. They weren't international, bro. We were. That was the difference.
Right. Yeah. The mayor.
Yeah,
they wasn't on that level. MTV was everywhere. When we first did, I didn't have MTV. It wasn't in my neighborhood. Yeah, I had to go to my boy house to watch it, or somebody had sent me a tape. I couldn't see it in broadcast form because MTV wasn't even in my neighborhood yet. Yeah. Gotcha. So once we got to really entrenched in the black neighborhood, man, please, it was over.
No, man, and my cable went out, so I couldn't watch. Yeah,
you couldn't afford the cable anyway.
My cable went out. I had to watch Danny Terrio and Hot Tracks and all that other stuff.
Yeah, we kept having to get you out of spot.
And then I watched Ralph McDaniels.
Right.
Ralph McDaniels.
Big up Ralph.
No doubt.
Salute Uncle Ralph.
Whoa, this is possible. Ralph is doing it.
What you heard is Ralph McDaniels is that dude.
Yeah, he's that guy.
For real, yeah.
That's one guy. And thank you very much, Ralph, by the way.
Yeah.
If Ralph didn't get out of the way, we would have never been there. MTV wanted Ralph first.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
MTV wanted Ralph first, and Ralph said, "No, I'm not selling you my my catalog." MTV wanted to own Ralph's catalog, and Ralph said, "No." You know? So
I had no idea.
Without Ralph stepping aside, you don't MTV Raps.
And Fab not want to do the show.
Oh, that's true. And Fab,
yeah. I was just about to ask you that. What was y'all's relationship with Fab?
Great relationship. Fab's the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
I love Fab, man. Fab is the if you see cool in a dictionary, you see Fab's name. The face.
Yeah. I used to be a little intimidated by Fab Five Freddy because my brother was a graffiti artist, and I knew who Fab Five Freddy was, what his legend was as an artist. And at that downtown cool ass swinging dude, and then you heard that Fab Five Freddy told me everybody fly, and Debbie Harry did it on rap. I was like, damn. And Fab used to always come in at that Fab hats on and the glasses, always talk about himself in the third person. Fab, good to see y'all, man. So with Fab is always happy to see y'all. I was like, damn, this nigga. Like a black brown. Like they should have made across 125th Street with Fab Five Freddy. That was cool, man.
Yeah, he was. I went to an art show and he had art in the art show. I was like, oh my God. He's
ill. He's ill.
Yeah, he's ill.
He's
super ill. What would each of you say was your high point on your MTV Raps?
I know mine for actual fact. You don't have to ask me that twice at all.
What was it?
When we started doing characters on the show, myself and we started doing characters on the show, and the premier character that actually kind of kicked this whole thing off was the Yo Mailman. But there was a character right after that I did that was the most incredible thing we ever did. And then from there, we did a lot of characters. And it gave our show a different dimension. It made it be like, it made it look like we had a lot of fun on the show and everybody loved it. It was a character I did called The Real Michael Jackson. I actually went in my parents' garage and got old clothes. I got the platform shoes, the funny socks. I put the whole wardrobe together and wrote on the back of the blazer, The Real Michael Jackson. I had the big afro. I was smoking. It was a take on the fact that Michael Jackson at the time was
what killed me. The 8-track on the rope.
Oh, the 8-track. Oh yeah, the 8-track on my neck. It had the red, black, and green colors on it. It was a take on the fact that Michael Jackson was no longer black, and they wanted to use me as the real Michael Jackson. So it was hilarious, and nobody knew I was coming out with that costume. No one.
Okay.
And when I hit the scene, Ed fell on the floor. Everybody was crying. So I knew it was gonna work. And from there, the costumes that we did when Ed did PJ Periwinkle, and he actually got in trouble when we did what was that, Ed, when you did the purple guy? What was his name?
The Barney joint.
Yeah, Barney. Oh, we did Barney. We got in trouble for that. Cause we beat Barney up, and Barney was talking, had the gold chain around his neck. MTV got mad because Barney was popular at the time, so it was a big deal. So,
Dre, what was your high point? Did you have? I know you have a lot of years on the network and even in your career, but what was your high point from your MTV Raps?
My high point for Yo MTV Raps was the audition that Ed and I did, and me not believing there's no way in hell that they're gonna hire a fat black man from Long Island and put him on television called MTV. I watched MTV. There's no way in hell that was gonna happen. And then when Ted and Ed convinced me to paint a #1 on my stomach at spring break the first time we were there by telling me, we'll get you a date with downtown Julie Brown. Dre, if you do this, we'll blow up. We'll blow up. And then I did it and became the highlight for the year, jumping into the pool. I mean, there's too many stories to go over and over. I don't like pointing out at one thing, because another great thing was there was a hurricane, I think our 4th year. We were down on spring break, and there was 50,000 kids of all colors, races, creeds, who waited for us to do Yo MTV Raps with Biz Markie, Tribe Called Quest, leaders of the new school. I mean, and on and on. And I kind of looked at Ed, and Ed kind of looked back at me, and I said, this can't be anything greater than this. It really couldn't be. I mean, our high points is we're the guys that walked into a forest, chopped it down, built a city, and when it was all said and done, we kept going. So I consider us like the John Henrys of hip hop and of rap music, because we never stopped. We never stopped.
Nice. Ed, what about your high points?
Absolute best thing ever was having James Brown on for a whole week on Yo MTV Raps, because, like your dad told you, James Brown was the backbone and probably the most sampled man in hip hop history. From every great producer that you can name, James Brown in some way, somehow. And for us to be able to do a week worth of shows with the Godfather Soul, bro,
that was unbelievable.
Be able to dance with him, and then he did the Ed Lover dance. Oh my, come on, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That right there, ridiculous. I was elated after that. James Brown, like, come on, you can't get no better.
Yeah.
Wait. But Ed, you also talked in a recent interview about Bill Cosby. I gotta throw that out there, because I
don't like to bring up Bill Cosby because of the circumstances. I don't want anybody to feel disrespected about how proud that I was at that time to have Bill Cosby on. We all were, because the Cosby Show was the #1 show in the world at the time. And for Bill Cosby to want to come on and be a part of what we were doing on Yo MTV Raps and just think that we were funny meant a whole lot to us, because I remember Eddie Murphy saying, I don't know if it was delirious or raw, when he said Bill Cosby only called you for 2 reasons. Either he likes what you're doing and wants to compliment you, or he wants to tell you that he thinks you're embarrassing the black race. And it just happened to be that he really enjoyed some of the stuff that we were doing. And, you know, a character that I was doing called Perry J. Perrywinkle III, his daughter put him on to it. And he watched it, he enjoyed it, he thought it was funny. And he just was like, yo, I'm gonna come down there and I'm gonna do the show, and then I'll have you on my show. And that's exactly how it happened. He came down, did a week's worth of shows. They laid it out. Do you remember how they laid it out for Bill Cosby? They thought was coming with Bill. Bill got out of a cab by himself with a newspaper under his arm. I was like, this dude's worth like billions of dollars, and he's just showing up like, boom, I'm here. So that's a really big highlight.
They laid out the proverbial red carpet for Bill. It was just crazy, you know?
All right. Now there's the other side of the question. Individually, can y'all talk about maybe your lowest moment or worst moment or most disappointing moment?
I can speak on something.
Okay.
I think the most, I don't know if it was disappointing, but it was the most telling moment, where it was kind of like eye-opening, where we and I'm not too sure if you guys still have it. I have my letter. The letter that we got that said Yo MTV Raps will be over in 6 months from corporate. We got a letter that said this show is going to be canceled in 6 months. So I kind of like, you know, opened my eyes to the fact that we were going to be done soon, which was, you know, kind of sad, you know. And then when we had the finale, that was like, you know, the ultimate. And you know, it was a good day because everybody came to support. I mean, you know, the freestyles that we had on that day were great with Rakim, Redman, Method Man, Chubb Rock. I mean, Hammer even came, you know, even though he didn't freestyle, but Hammer came down. That was a momentous day, you know, in hip hop and, you know, for our show. But when I got that letter, I was just like, wow, this is real, you know, because they changed, you know, people that, you know, in corporate, they changed the people who were running our show. You know, Doug Herzog, I think he moved on at the time, and then they had new people coming in, and they wanted to do new things. So even though our show at that time was still number 1 or 2 on the network, our show was going to be canceled, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, that was probably like the one of the bad points or sad points of the show itself, or my experience of the show.
Okay, Ed, what about you?
I'm a mirror what T said, just the end. Man, I wanted to do, if we could have got a 10-year run out of it, I would have been great, man. I just wanted to do 10 years. That's all I wanted to do. Just 89 to 99 for us. To me, we'd have bowed out like, we did our 10 years, we good. It was the end. It's always the end of anything. It was just the end of it, because I know that it was never going to be anything ever like that again. And it was just, that was the sad part, the end.
Yeah, the end.
Dre?
Yes, sir.
Did you have anything you wanted to add to that in terms of the low points or the disappointing moments?
Well, I don't want to repeat what those guys were saying. I don't want to say the end also. There was a point where we were the most recognized face in music and entertainment at the time, and MTV kept messing with our time. They would bring our show down to 30 minutes a day. Then they would bring it up to an hour a day. And I think one of the greatest things that they found out was a great mistake for them, when they aired, we were aired twice a day. You know, the repeat show aired in the morning, and then the new show came on in the afternoon. And I felt like what the guy said in Malcolm X to Malcolm, is that there's too much power in the hands of these black guys. It's way too much power, because everybody in the world wanted to be on Yo. And we couldn't explain why we weren't getting the same attention. We couldn't explain why, when it came to video music award shows, we never presented an award, not even the hip hop award. And they were like, oh, well, no VJ does that. We'll shoot to you guys during the broadcast. And every time we would go and do things like that, the crowds would go crazy for us. And it's like, why wouldn't you give us the opportunity? Why wouldn't you, schedule your MTV Raps and the TV Guide the same way you did with TRL and all these other things? And people imitated everything that we did. And it was like, wow. So it's like, after a while, we were blessed with doing other stuff. But it's like, here we did this thing that was groundbreaking, that changed the face of rap music and hip hop around the globe. And you're treating us like, hey, you young whippersnappers, you just sit on the side and we'll tell you what we'll give you. But you got to look at it as a curse and a blessing, because they did give us the opportunity to actually be on the air.
Yeah, that's some real perspective there. Those are some of the things that we didn't necessarily see.
Oh yeah, Peter Doherty, the late great Peter Doherty and Ted Demme fought tooth and nail with all the higher ups. But it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You see people don't want to do this. Then we kept hearing excuse after excuse. And when you're being creative and you're doing that kind of show and you want to do your best work and you're getting a reaction, you don't want that kind of activity from the upper echelons. That's crazy. Like I said, 10 years. We could have did 20 years and no one would have stopped. No one would have stopped watching MTV Raps.
Yeah, I have to agree. I definitely have to agree. What about, there were a few moments on there. I think about the Tupac moment with the Hughes brothers as one of those seminal moments. What were y'all thinking about when he's essentially snitching on himself for an assault on air? I know Ed jumped on him and muzzled him for a second there. But what was going through y'all's mind when that happened?
Shut up, Tupac. That's what was going on in my mind. Like, bro, shut up, man. You're incriminating yourself right now. You know that they gonna press charges on you. Just shut up, dude. But Pac was our man. So we knew who he was and we knew how he got when he got riled up. So my main thought was just shut up, bro. Shut up before. And they did use it in his court case against the Hughes brothers. They used that tape of him talking about it. I was trying to shut him up before he incriminates himself anymore. And I think John Singleton was thinking, and God rest his soul also, as well as Pac, is like, we're not here to talk about the Hughes brothers. We're here to talk about poetic justice. You know, so my thing was just, so John was like, we can talk about that another time. My thing was, Pac, please shut up because you're incriminating yourself. Shut up.
Right. What about you, T? Were you? I don't know if I saw. Were you there, T?
I was there. I was off camera, but I was there. And
okay.
And they called the next day sequestering the tape. The court called the next day sequestering the tape because they needed that for evidence, you know, against Tupac. It was crazy. Ed was trying to tell him to be quiet. He wasn't trying to hear that. He was not trying. He was turned up. He was not trying to hear be quiet. He wanted to get his point across, and he did just that. You know, that was crazy. That was a crazy day. It was.
That's crazy. What about, like, who were you guys friends with? Like, as a journalist, I kind of keep it real professional with me and the artist, but I always felt like you guys were actually friends with a lot of people at the you know, that came through the show. Dre, would you say that?
True for some people, but I always, you know, because of my length of time of dealing with different artists, being on radio and witnessing how people change as this situation grows, you know, we got good relationships with people. I mean, if Ed and I weren't at that party when Bobby Brown was there at the height of him being my prerogative, would he come on Yo MTV Raps the way he did? Would he have caused the problem that we had after they saw him on Yo MTV Raps and MTV wanted him there? No, it's because we have personal relationships with so many different people. Because the one thing about us is we were always out in the street as well as not just being on the TV. We were out there everyday parties, and you can find us at the Q Club as well as you can find us at other clubs in Manhattan. And we went to LA. We went to the really crazy thing was Ed and I would go to different parties in LA, and I'd come back in and Ed says, "Where you coming from?" "Yo, I was over here." "Really? I didn't even know about that." "Yeah, I was doing this." He said, "Yo, I was over here." I said, "Really? Really?" And it's like that's what expanded it because everybody wanted to be around us and find out, well, what do you think? How do you want to do this? And I remember being in Jim Brown's house with him and a few other people, and all we were talking about is gang violence and how to stop it. And Dre, we need to get you to come in here on that. And I looked at both of them and said, y'all are crazy. I'm not getting involved in that. Because first of all, I don't understand it. You got to explain to me to make me understand why this is going on. Why this is going on. Because we come from New York, where when the height of gangs and stuff like that, you got to give credit to people like Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation and all those folks, because they wanted to squelch that type of thing. But the West Coast had their own thing about it. And I remember when Run DMC, and especially Jay, because Jay was a good friend of mine, he used to tell me stuff about that. Like, Dre, you can't wear red or you can't wear blue. You got to be careful walking in there. The one thing I give credit to Ed and I and T going to California, we can walk everywhere. We knew everybody. And no one, even if there was like, those looks that people would get, we went to Sloss and Swap Meet and nobody cared. They just cared that we were there.
they didn't care because I had on red shorts that day. I had to get new shorts.
We actually got away with just being us because that's what we were when you saw us on TV.
I don't want to step on Dre. I know he's talking, but yeah, that day that we were at the Sloss and Swap Meet, I had on red shorts, blood red shorts, in a Crip neighborhood. I had to go inside and buy new shorts and change my shorts right there. It was crazy, you know.
Wow. That's crazy.
You remember Easy bought me a different jacket because I had the wrong color jacket on.
That's right. I had the wrong color jacket on. I had on red shorts. Oh, that was.
Easy bought me a black.
We wasn't ready. We didn't know. You know what I mean? We were just out there. People were looking at us like crazy. Like, why is everybody eyeballing us? I'm thinking it's because it's who we are. No, it's because we were wearing the wrong shit. That's why. So we had, you know. But
Chuck, back to your question to who we were friends with. Personal relationships, I would say absolutely Tupac, because that was my man, because him and Stretch ran tight, and Stretch was in Live Squad. Live Squad was signed to my label with Marcus Shaw, No Face for a time before Tommy Boy. So I would definitely say Tupac. Heavy D, I had a personal relationship with. I used to go to Hef's house all the fucking time. I would absolutely say Public Enemy, because every time they came on, it turned from an interview to a snap fest, and people took Public Enemy so seriously. We used to get letters bemoaning us for actually laughing and telling jokes with Public Enemy and Dre and Flav and me talking about each other's mothers. I would absolutely say PE was another was another group that Kid and Play absolutely had personal relationships with them. I mean, those are people that is probably a lot more, but those are some of the people I could just remember from that era that I actually messed with outside of MTV.
Right. Now you didn't clown Chuck D, did you? You and Flav.
Absolutely.
What can you clown Chuck D about?
What, you kidding me?
I was in school with Chuck, and I knew a bunch of stuff about Chuck, and especially with Flavor. So when we got on the set and Chuck and I would start snapping, people would get offended. Like, how dare you say that about Chuck D? You don't know that Chuck D is a straight black man, and he's like, I'm like, what are y'all talking? He's Chuck to me. What's wrong with y'all? And Chuck would have to tell people too, yo, this is how we speak, together. There was no animosity. It was like, it wasn't negative. It's just what we did.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Definitely right.
Yeah, man.
That old ass jacket he had on or something like that. You should kill Chuck, man. Like, Chuck, you make money, get some sneakers, man. Your sneakers is run over, bro. What's wrong? We go back and forth, but Flav was always battling to start talking about somebody's mother. And Dre would call him Rico all day long. And we would just tell him, you're so black, man. You cut you and oil come out, man. You ain't got no regular blood, you black.
Yo, Chuck, you gotta understand that these snap sessions with Public Enemy go back to when myself and Dre, even way before you on MTV Raps, we used to sit up at the radio station we used to do at Adelphi University and snap all night long. That's all we used to do is talk about each other. So we became really close. That's why Flavor and Dre's, if we had those on tape, those snap sessions were legendary, bro. I mean, hilarious. I'm talking about Def Comedy level snaps. Hilarious. So like when he came on to Yo MTV Raps, it was just nothing for Dre and Chuck to go back and forth talking about each other, or Ed or us to chime in. It was nothing. That's what we do. And people look at it like we were crazy, like, oh, you're disrespecting the voice of God. I said, my man, that is Carlton Ridenhour right there, bro. Chill with that. You know what I mean? That's my dude. So we had good relationships with people, man.
I know I want to add somebody too. Ice-T was our boy. Man, Ice-T, man. Ice-T showed up in LA the first time we touched down in LA. First time I ever got sat on the curb with my fingers crossed like this behind my head with Ice-T. Ice-T was our dude outside, and to this day, outside of Yo MTV Raps and radio, whatever we was doing. Whenever I see Ice, is beautiful, bro. Beautiful.
Yeah. Ice is one of the realest for sure. One of the realest. I wanted to ask y'all about after. I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway since Dre referenced it. Did they treat you differently after the show was canceled, or was it just everybody was still cool? Was it any difference? Not they didn't have the platform to go to.
I guess that all depends on who you're referring to. Everybody didn't get treated the same way, and more importantly, everybody that we were befriended weren't too friendly after the show. I mean, you can't answer that question with a general answer, because you never, everybody has different things in relation to that. So, but for the most part, everybody was cool. We still hung out at the clubs, and we, still did a lot of music industry stuff immediately after Yo MTV Raps. It was pretty much the same, but in some cases, that people were just there just to get that vision, and they weren't real, but I mean, no big deal. I mean, that's the way it is. That's life,
Yeah.
I don't think for Dre and I don't think it was too much difference because our new platform was the hottest morning show in New York City. So we was on High 97. So you had to come through there. You was coming through there. So I don't think it didn't change that much. And I don't think, as far as we are concerned, we didn't put too much value into trying to be friends with an artist. If we mess with you outside on some personal stuff, that's what it was. And those people always remain friends regardless. But we didn't, try to hang out with people.
Right.
So if we didn't see you, it was never a disappointment because we wasn't really hanging out with you in the first place.
Right.
Well, that's fact. Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, sir.
I would say what happened is most people wanted to come and hang out with us because I threw many different birthday parties with Luke, and we got thrown out of the city of Detroit doing those kind of parties.
Wow, man, yo,
having a ball with folks. So a lot of people wanted to hang with us, and every time we were somewhere, everybody was saying, "So where y'all gonna party at? What y'all gonna do? What's it gonna be?" And it's like, why do y'all always think that we have the party? We came here to find out where the party is here. No, you guys do the party. Where's it going down?
Mm-hmm.
So
let me tell you.
So people always wanted to be a part of where we were, different types of people, but there was always the haters too.
Y'all had haters?
Oh yeah,
of course.
Just like
everybody that's successful has haters. You kidding me? Yeah.
Okay.
And that city of Detroit night was out of control.
That was beautiful.
The cops woke me up at 4:45 in the morning, banging on my door. I was half naked. And they told me, "I don't care if you're naked. You gotta get out of here, and you gotta get out of the city."
It was debauchery at its best. It's like being at Easy E's Wet and Wild pool party.
Oh, yeah, that was, The movie did that. The movie did not do that justice. That party was off the hook. Trust me. We were in there like, yo, you know. I have the photos. Trust me.
You got photos, bro?
Oh yeah, I got all the photos. You kidding me? Oh, I got
photos. You got photos of the day. Homegirl busting me in the hot tub with the other chick.
Yeah, I got photos with Dre with 2 hot chicks in the tub, and I got ill.
Yeah, thank you.
I got photos, kid.
I didn't see that.
Dre, you keep referencing a book. What book is this you talking about?
Book I wrote about a year ago. Ed, myself, and T went to this Who's the Man screening with Action Bronson and Fab Five Freddy, matter of fact. And Chuck D, I was at he was doing a speech at Adelphi University where we went to school. And Chuck and I went to dinner with my friend Bill Stephanie afterward. And Chuck kept saying, "Dre, you got to write a book. Dre, you got to write a book. Dre, you got." I said, "Chuck, stop saying that, because I got to find somebody to write it with me. I can't sit down and pen a book like I'm a novelist and I know what to do. I need somebody that knows better than I. Dre, I'm gonna pay for it. Just write the book. Write the book. People want to hear what you got to say." So about 5 or 6 months after that, I pretty much wrote it, and it basically was a story about what happened from the time Spike Lee's "Do the Right Thing" movie came out, and we first started doing the MTV Raps. Because, like Ed said, when you start talking about a length of time of all the things that we've done, I said it's too big of a story to tell in just a quick 300-page book. So even with sitting down and doing that, there was so much editing and stuff I had to cut out just to be like, okay, I didn't want the book to be, just negative. I didn't want to be super positive. I didn't want to. I just wanted to tell stories of what happened to me and how it reflected on me. And that's why I always refer to myself as the big fat black guy, because I've never felt I was supposed to be there. So I was always there kind of as a fan and an observer and going through all these little different crazy things that I did and that went on. So in this book, Yo Bigger Stuff, the Dr. Dre episodes, originally it was 1989 to 1995. It was basically telling the story about what happened on Yo MTV Raps. And it ends at that last day on Yo MTV Raps. But now, because of other things that have gone on, the publisher said, "Dre, we want you to write some more stuff. We want you to talk about the earlier days with this. No, we want to talk about what's going on with you now." I said, "Guys, this is an encyclopedia. No one's going to sit down and read that." I said, even Barack Obama's book that's recently came out, he had to split it in half because it's too much to tell in a quick blink of an eye. And, it's easy for people to get at me and say, "So what happened really between you then? Tell us some really, really nasty stories." I said, and I started to think about it. I said, I can't tell anything that didn't happen. Did we disagree? Absolutely. Did we agree? Of course. I mean, T knows because T started with me with the concept going into being original concept. So none of us are perfect human beings. But the thing is, I wanted to tell the story of this is how this began. This is what we have to go through. And there's so much more to discuss. So when I do these interviews and talk with folks, they want to know all the things at one time. And I said, I can't, because it'll be a 5-hour interview on one topic. If we just talk about the time we were in Detroit and NWA was on the stage and the cops told them not to do "fuck the police," and they did it anyway, and the cops threw the M80s on the stage, and we were shooting Yo MTV Raps. So when I'm sitting in a theater and I'm watching Straight Outta Compton and they depict it differently, I go, what? How do you act like you were on the radio? First of all, there was no national radio station playing NWA because they didn't exist. There's a difference. Not that, oh, they didn't want to play it. It didn't exist. That's the truth. I knew of K-Day. I knew of all those stations out in L.A. because a few of our friends who grew up in Westbury worked there.
Right.
So it's like, come on, man. I mean, don't disrespect us with it. You know, and then when you watch Jimmy Iovine and Dre do the Untouchables, or I forgot what the name of the one they did on HBO, you're playing your MTV Raps footage, and we're all sitting there in the slots and swap meet.
Yep.
So how can you show it one way, but you depict it differently in a film? And again, I'm not saying, hey, you know, there's something wrong. That's their movie. They could do what they want. You can't express everything that goes along. But I remember we did Who's the Man, and we were begging folks to come to be in that movie. And it was Ed and Charlie and us reaching out to Crisscross, who were one of the first artists to break the thing, say, hey, we're going to do cameos in Who's the Man. And then we got Salt and Pepper, Ice-T came on board, KRS-One, Flavor Flav, and the list goes on and on and on. The late, great Guru, you know, and our crew. So it's like, to me, it's like, the one thing about when we do this, and I hold no ill feelings towards anybody. I just say, why can't we just tell the story the way it happened?
Yeah, right. Wow. Okay, that was a lot.
Sorry.
No.
Didn't I tell you earlier, Chuck? I told you. Didn't I tell you?
Now you understand
Don't
why
worry.
I say you got to
Don't worry about having something to say.
Even bigger inside of that.
Yeah. Dre, you made me do this. Or I'm sorry, you can't see it, but you made me gasp when you called Rick Rubin a thief, and I was like, "Oh my God, what in the world?"
Well, thank you. Congratulations. I want to congratulate Ed on his Vlad interview and the success of that. I call Rick Rubin a thief because the truth is the truth. As Ed said, Ed said, "Oh, Dre, come on, get rough." I'll get rough. I'll get really rough because Rick Rubin ain't to me. I know some stories how the real Walk This Way was created, where it came from. I was there. And Rick Rubin was a thief. Because if you go play Knowledge Me, our song with original concept, if you play Can You Feel It, Rick lifted those tracks and gave it to other artists. And we're like, yo, dude, what are you doing? But yet he held us back and acted like, well, you guys can't do this. You guys can't do that. And he treated us like, you know, oh, well, this wasn't this wasn't that. Nah.
Right.
Straight from the basement of Cooley High. I don't care whether you like it or you didn't like it. Put the damn record out.
Right.
Put it out. Let the people make that decision. Not you. Because just like Russell Simmons, when I first played in Public Enemy #1, because I was a DJ for the Beastie Boys, and I went into Rick's room, and Russell was sleeping on his loft. I mean, on the not the loft. What's it called? The futon. And I was talking to Rick about it. I said, "Yo, play me Chuck D. Chuck D. I gotta hear this. And he starts playing the beginning of it. As soon as it goes, what goes on? Well, pow. Russell gets up, takes the tape, and throws it out the window. He says, that'll never work. It's a bunch of noise. Oops. That's why he didn't sign Public Enemy. Rick did. Yeah. But Rick was full of a lot of crap. And Rick was a thief. And some of the greatest things that could have come out at the time, I had to fight to keep Rapper G on the original concept record. And it's strange that when you play Biting My Style today to my son's audience who's 21 and over there like, yo, Dad, I never knew this song existed. Yeah. I said, what was that about? But you was calling me, begging me for ideas. Can you get me in contact with this? Can you do that? Can you do that? Dude, and you was jacking people's stuff left and right. That's why there's an original Rock the Bells, and then there's Rock the Bells that was on radio. And guess what? Ask Marley Marl, where did Rick get the idea? And I was going to talk with yo, man, don't do that. That's the one thing we don't do. We don't take somebody's music and then just jack it. And was LL good on it? Yeah, he was great on it. LL was great on a lot of things. Yeah. That
Rock the original Rock the Bells is definitely
Smalley
for
Scratch.
me. Yeah.
Smalley Scratch.
It is.
That's fact.
Oh, you saying the original beat is from Marley Scratch?
It is.
Pretty similar beat, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same,
same thing. I was there when he jacked it. I'm begging him not to do it.
All his ranks and the rhymes attached. From a new creation.
All the Marley Scratch.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Okay.
As a great comedian once said, don't get me started.
Woo! Yeah, all right.
T-Money and I were in the room when Quincy Jones was in there with Run and D and everybody, and Quincy was trying to talk to all of us, and T said, "Yo, I'm out of here. This is just whack." And he checked Quincy Jones. He said, "Quincy, I'll check you, Q." And he walked out. I said, "Where you going?" He said, I ain't sitting around for this. This is crazy.
Hold up, T. Wait, T, what? You disrespect? What? You told Quincy?
No, I didn't disrespect Quincy. I was just like, the energy in the room was nervous, man. It was nervous.
Ideas, and then take credit for it like it was their idea. Right. But I have to respect Quincy Jones because he did Michael Jackson's Thriller. He did freaking Off the Wall. He's freaking Quincy Jones. Amazing.
Right.
But when rap was coming out at that point, they had no clue what to do with this stuff.
Right.
No clue. So you go to whoever's hot at the moment and you kind of sit around and figure out what to do next.
Right.
Don't get me started, because I can say things like the World Class Wrecking Crew, LA Dream Team. I love those dudes for what they did. But then, like I said, when you start talking about truth and fact and where things came from, I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm going to let you wait until you read it in the book. But I'm going to give you a name and let you figure it out. Go in the back of the Chronic album and look for a name called Greg Royal. When you see his name there, Greg Royal comes from Newcastle, Westbury. He was Royal Flash in a group called Music Mind. So when I heard Dre change and start changing his production, and I flipped the records, I was like, wait a minute. This is where he got that from. Because he wasn't playing them records like that.
Right.
No, sir. No, sir.
So,
and I would love to go one-on-one and say, so tell me how influential was Greg Royal on you on the Chronic? Because you give him credit. You give him credit.
So
and you give him credit on Snoop Dogg's first album. So let's be funky and real about this. And I got no animosity towards West Coast rappers, down South rappers. I thought all that was bullshit. Because I come from Long Island, and we have to fight harder than anybody. And they don't tell you about that because he's from Queens. That's why he's so prideful about being from Queens.
Wait a minute.
So
let me just backtrack.
When we have to do what we did with Spectrum City, the concept, and prove to the rest of New York that we freaking mattered, I'm not letting that slide. Like you came up with that magically out the air. No.
So so Dre, wait, let me just make this clear. So you're making a connection between it creatively between yourself and what you guys were doing and Dr. Dre on the West Coast.
I know for a fact, not a fiction, fact. I knew about the World Class Record Group when I was at WBAU.
Okay.
I knew about the other Dr. Dre for the longest. My name didn't come from music. My name came from sports. As a matter of fact, I think it was T who's the one who said, yo, man, why don't you just call yourself Dr. Dre? You do it anyway.
Right.
No. And there's no disrespect to him.
Yeah.
I got nothing but love for him. I play a number the G thing like anybody else. But I know Greg Royal was the one who gave him the freaking record. Because he played it in Westbury.
But there's always been a lot of collaborative efforts on a lot of albums.
Exactly.
I don't think it necessarily means that somebody's a thief. I just think it means there's a collaborative.
Rick Rubin is a thief.
Okay, well, we don't want to bring Dre. Dre is one of the greatest producers that ever sat behind the board. So, I mean, Sam Snead was there. Scott Storch was there. Over the years, there's a lot of stuff that was written by the DLC. Even Snoop said that Jay-Z wrote the Dre Day. I mean, forgot about Dre. Yeah. There's always been a lot of collaboration on a lot of records.
Yeah, Ed, but still, I'm not trying. I'm not trying to instigate, but I'll just say this from an outsider's point of view. We just thought, coincidentally, these things happened and just magically were coincidental, which seems to not be the case. It's basically what I'm saying. Perhaps, maybe not the case. That's all. I ain't trying to disrespect.
But no disrespect, Chuck. Let me say something to you. You know what the most disrespectful thing at that time was? When Village Voice put Rick Rubin on the cover, standing on a stack of Village Voice newspapers and said King of Rap. That was a big slap in Russell Simmons' face. They were partners in Def Jam, but damn.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Russell Simmons that had Curtis Blow? Wasn't it Russell Simmons who had Run DMC before Rick joined in? Wasn't it Russell Simmons who had Houdini? Wasn't Russell Simmons who were around with Charles Stetler and the Fat Boys? And what was the tour that they did? And I still have no real animosity towards Rick. There is collaborative things that happen when you make music. I 100% am behind you with that. But dude, certain moves he made, come on, man, I was there.
Yeah,
I was there.
Right, I feel you.
So it's not like a Scotch Scorch or Jay-Z rewriting Forget About Dre. Those are great collaborative things. That always happens. From Motown to Stax, you name the era, there's always that effort, without a doubt. But you can't take one man and call him the king of rap because he dropped, he quote unquote had the idea for Walk This Way. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Yeah. With this conversation, man.
We can definitely move on. I personally really have a lot of admiration for Rick, just as a fan, and as a fan is how I speak on it, because I don't know all those intimate insider details. So I'll leave it at that.
Did he do good work? Yes, he did. I'm not complaining about that. But I'm also the same guy, and you can ask T-Money. Oh man, let's do this record for $1,000, and once it sells, I'll pay you guys. T, you ever get a check from Def Jam?
No.
I say no more.
Okay.
I say
but that's neither here nor there. Let's move on from Rick.
We released three singles and an album.
It's not about Rick here. We're talking about us.
Okay.
We're here to talk about us.
Check? I got no disrespect for him. Where's the check? I bet you ain't gets a check for No Face. Because that ain't gonna play that.
I handle my business, bro.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I was a 33rd and third partner in No Face. That was from the gate. We had a Rush associated label called No Face Records. We had Loud Squad. We had us, No Face, the group, and then we had BWP. Yeah. And we were third. Me, Marcus Shaw had been together so long as being in a outside funk band together from the time we were kids. Like, I think Mark was like 12. I think I was like 14. And then Shaw came in, I think he was like 17 or 18. So we already had bad experiences in the business. So once Russell gave us the label, we just was 33rd and the third partners, straight down.
Bro, I got a question for you in regards to that.
Yeah.
Because I always knew you guys were in a funk band, but do you have any of that on video or tape? Or anything?
Yeah, I got it. I think there's a few tapes. Mark got a few tapes of us doing top 40.
I would love to see that or hear that.
We're the top 40 band. That's how I met Full Force. I knew Full Force before they popped, because we used to always all of us did a lot of gigs around the clubs. Right. There was a club at the Dime in New York that you couldn't go to that didn't have a live band playing. So we were kids playing all of these clubs and stuff. So that's how I met Full Force, Area Code, a lot of the other top bands, Tom Brown, Bingy Ham.
Tom Brown.
Yeah. Teddy Riley. Met Teddy Riley when he was in Kids at Work. That's how I met a lot of them dudes early. And that's how we knew homeboy that became one of the greatest video. He did Belly. The record.
Hype Williams. Hype Williams.
Hype from Queens. So we had to sign off on Hype. First video. I had to sign off on it.
That's it.
Nice.
So we got jerked so many times, so we knew once Russell gave us one of them Rush associated labels, 33rd and 3rd, clear across the board. We friends. We still boys to this day. No funny business. It ain't going to be none of that shit. You get your 33rd. You get your 33rd. I get mine. And that's how it always been.
Got you. See, that's how you get the credentials to come out. Just natural conversation. And the credentials.
Better for us. FYI, that works better for us, brother.
Nice. You know? Yo, T-Money, I got to ask you, how did you invent the Ed Lover dance?
Wow, that's an ill conversation, man. Ed, actually, I was doing the dance on the set, and Ed was looking at that like, yo, that's kind of crazy. So he started doing it, but still he looked a lot iller than me doing it. So and then he did it once on the show, and then he was like, okay, that was it. I said, what are you doing, B? He was like, what? I said, but man, look, you're going to have to do this dance every week he resisted it. He didn't want to do it every week. He didn't want to be bothered with that. I was like, listen, you want this to be, you want to be like the Cabbage Patch. You want to be like, the Running Man. You want to be like the Waltz, the Hustle, all these. Look, you want to create a dance of your own. You want to be the man with this. So you want to do this every week so the world can see. And from there, when he took my advice, that took off like a rocket. Dre played the 900 number every week, and Ed would just drop that joint every Wednesday, right? The world started doing the Ed Lover dance. We would go on tour. We would do these college tours, and we would have a whole segment while we were doing the tour and we would have fans come up and do the Ed Lover dance for prizes. Everybody did it. James Brown did it. I remember Rosie Perez came up there and she did the Ed Lover dance. It was crazy. Ed Lover dance took off like wildfire. So, yeah, man, it was cool. So I had the vision. And I had the vision to actually tell him to, like, listen, man, you should do this every week. It worked out for him, to say the least.
And Ed, are you sick of the dance at this point?
Hell no.
He goes in there more.
I love a dance. That keeps you top of mind when people play that 900 number and you're around grown people. Everybody turn around and look at you like, yo, Ed, do the dance. But sometimes if I don't feel like doing it, I'll just say, hey, it ain't Wednesday. I only.
The crazy thing. So how many people thought that the 900 number was Ed's record?
Yeah, for sure.
They thought it was his record.
They know it's Mark 45.
They said, who's Mark? Mark who? No, so it's Ed's record. No, it's not Ed's record. DJ Mark, the 45 King. That's his record. But they thought it was Ed's. They thought it was his record.
Oh shit! Another regret is that I let DJ Cool beat me to the punch would let me clear my throat. I wish I'd have thought of that. That would have been so perfect. To have that hit record to go with that dance, oh man, I give props to DJ Cool all the time for taking that record and giving it a brand new life again. Big up to him.
Yeah.
That was
for sure.
Ill time.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, Ed, is Come On Son. That was, first of all, do you still do Come On Son? Are you mad at I think ESPN for jacking you?
I was. People been trying to get me to do Come On Son again for a long time. I got the podcast. So Come On Son does live via the podcast. It's called Come On Son, the podcast. And on my podcast, you still get the gist. I still do my come on, son. Somebody's going to get it every week on my podcast. But, I was bothered by it before. But, saying that the sincerest form of flattery is imitation. And it still makes people think of the original because somebody's always tweeting every time that shit is on ESPN like, yo, y'all know y'all got that from Ed Lover and Come On Son. So it's probably one of the most organic things I've ever done in my life. So, it gave me a whole new life too. So it was cool.
But I definitely couldn't end this interview without talking a little bit about original concept. I had the albums, I had the 12 inches. Influential, very high. It's probably some feedback from the audio.
Okay,
but I know Ed, you weren't in. Shout out to New Face,
no face.
No face. My fault. No face. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. We know what you meant.
So yeah, we just lost. We lost Dre.
T, talk about original concept, bro.
So what's the question?
Well, the question is the impact of the group. Highly sampled, really genius. I'm
gonna be honest with you. When we were working on that album, we were just putting things together, man, trying to make it happen. I mean, at that time, hip hop was. What was cool about hip hop at that time is that every week, something would come out and somebody would come out with a different sound, something totally different. Keith Shockley came to me and Dre and was talking crazy. Like he had some kind of street talk and he was doing like, yo, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, what's up? What's happening? And I took that and we made our first single called Knowledge Me out of that, And to be honest with you, that beat is one of the most sampled beats in hip hop history,
Yeah.
And real talk, that whole joint was done because Keith came to me with that whole concept, and it was crazy. And in California, it started getting radio play real crazy, and we was like, "Oh, our record's about to take off," and then they shut it down because I kept saying, you know, gang related stuff on the record. You know what I mean? And they stopped playing it. You know, but they kept playing it in the street. So that's why I know, as it relates to sales, I think our album did a lot better than what we've been told. And plus, right after we did that album, not too long after that, you know, we got on television. So. And you know, it's a cult classic, man. Our album. Plus, it had Pump That Bass on it, which helped. You know, Dr. Dre himself, he is actually the creator of the Miami bass sound. I remember distinctly being in the studio with Dre, and we were talking about, because we had just got a Roland 808. Dre had just bought it, so we were tinkering with it. And Dre had the engineer. Our engineer at the time was Kenny Wallace, and he told Kenny to make sure you keep the bass real high. You know. Keep it real high, you know, keep the frequency high on the bass. And Kenny was like, that sounds crazy. I said, no, this is going to work. And it worked, you know, that's what Pump That Bass was all about. So, you know, our album itself was a collaboration of different things. We talked about politics on the record. We talked about doing songs like, you know, that were free-spirited, you know. We had, as a matter of fact, before we even did the album, I remember having a conversation with Chuck D, because that's when we got our album deal. And we were going to the studio. Chuck and them was about to get theirs at around the same time. So Chuck was talking to me about, you know, because at the time it was all about everybody just doing songs and being entertained and, you know, this, that, and the third. And there was no major politics in records at the time. Everybody was just like, yo, we're just doing party records, you know. They even had a record label called Party Time that put out records under that same concept, just party records. So what Chuck talked to me about, Chuck said, hey, I'm not going to put out records that just do party stuff. I'm gonna talk about the politics of the day. I'm gonna talk about what's important, you know. And you know, my mind at the time wasn't even on that. You know, nobody was, you know. But when we saw how Chuck was started to mature and do records that were politically motivated, we included a couple of those kind of records on our album. So our album was a mixture of all types of things. So. When you talk about original concept's identity was created through just us being who we were. You know, it was some guys that grew up in the black neighborhood in Long Island. You know, and we always were in the city. We were always part of hip hop culture, and we just actually did that album to try to get in where we fit in. We were doing a bunch of songs to see what would stick, you know, to help us formulate our identity. And the album had potential, and it would have done well if Def Jam would have put money into it, which they didn't. They put money into the other projects. So, you know, so that's basically what transpired as it relates to our album. We never got a second album. You know, we never got a video. You know, so we kind of live on the fact that everybody sampled. You know, sampled Knowledge Me, sampled Pump That Bass. You know, but if you talk about a lot of hip hop heads, especially a lot of guys that collect vinyl. They know about original concept, and they can tell you the whole story.
For me, it was just revolutionary, but the album as well.
Yeah, what was it? It was a very great collaborative effort. We went through a lot of trials and tribulations. And the one thing, like Ed said, you know, when you're with the group that you're with all your life, you grew up, and between myself, Easy G Rockwell, T-Money, and Rapper G, and, you know, my partner, Elliot Nobles, who took us back and forth to the studio to make sure that we got there and got it done. And all the great contributors on that album, even Mike D from the Beastie Boys, who I've had to constantly prove, yes, he was on a song called Mustache. She got a mustache. She was in the studio that night with us. The same way T and I were on a song called Girls on License to Ill. With the background on that song with the Beastie Boys.
And you can't forget about Eric McIntosh either.
Pump That Bass, I was on the back of the Beastie Boy tour bus doing shows. And I used to fly back and forth to finish it. And I told T, I said, I got this crazy idea. You got to just go with me, because I was out DJing for them. So I saw the effects of what Can You Feel It did. And even Knowledge Me as nutty as it was. When I first met Ed looked at me like crazy. Said, yo, you did that crazy record. Knowledge Me, oh man. I said, yeah, that was us, which was a BAU promo. That's all it really was. And when Rick heard that, he thought it was the craziest thing he ever heard. So you can't go back and jump in a DeLorean and fix the past. So we're just going to storm forward and be a little more original with our concept. We got blessed. We did the Dr. Dre That Love album with T-Money, and we actually did Knowledge Me on that album. So our beautiful legacy is that it's not over. We got so much more to do. I don't give a damn. Let's yo, Ed, let's get in the studio and let's drop some beats and just freestyle and do what you do. I still call him one of the greatest freestyle rappers I've ever heard in my life. I was always in awe of watching, and I love DJing behind Ed because Ed would always do stuff, and I would do stuff to mess with him. But our collaborative efforts and being live and doing parties and MTV beach parties and crazy stuff like that, and even T, we've done so much stuff together. It's like we do this in our sleep. Yeah. And that's when you know you love it. When you don't even think about it, you just do it.
No, you guys are definitely masters of many different domains. That's at least how I see you, particularly comedy, because in the 90s, everybody was so serious. We were like all super, super duper serious, but you guys definitely lightened it up in a way that wasn't corny or like, man, get out of here with that, so I got to give you a lot of respect. I don't want to hold you guys too long because I heard you were complaining, talking about me behind my back when I fell off.
Ed said he was hungry as a runaway slave. That's what he said. But
it's all good. But Ed, you I heard Oprah got on you at one point, and I can't let you go without discussing the Oprah incident if it was an actual incident.
Oh, you on mute? You muted yourself?
You can't hear you.
It wasn't a real incident. She just, I guess Oprah just had a problem with a lot of the misogyny in hip hop, and she just told me, why do I have to, I used to always end the show with the Chappelle, I'm rich, bitch. And she was just like, what do you guys say bitch for all the time? So that was it. It wasn't, Oprah came up and did the interview when I was on Power 105 in the afternoons, and it was beautiful, man. And Oprah's been cool ever since, man. That was it. It wasn't no real serious controversy. She probably had more problems with other rappers saying that she didn't respect hip hop, but she had no problem with me. None of it.
Yeah. And Dre, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you how you were doing health wise.
Let's say I got a leg up on you right now. I got more to the kickstand. Let's put it that way. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm blessed. I got great family. I got great friends, and I got great enemies too. I'm blessed. What can I say? The master plan has got something in store for me to do, and guess what? He's just wearing out this prosthetic as I move forward.
Okay. Well, any final words? Perhaps give us an exclusive of Who's the Man 2, or just drop some weird words of wisdom, pearls of wisdom, things of that nature.
Bro, I'm out here in the ATL, and I was at this place called Pat. I'm a cigar lover. I love cigars, bro. Aficionado. I love good cigars. And I ran into my man T.I. at Chicago Pizza. And we just had a little brief conversation. He's with his son, and I ain't holding him too long. I want him to do my podcast. He's like, bet, you got to come and do mine. I was like, bet. And before I walked away, he was like, yo, Ed, who owns Who's the Man? I was like, New Line. He's like, hey, I know the president of New Line, bro, because he was telling me he's starting to direct more. And I think that's a good move for him. He was like, I know the president of New Line, man. Let's do that joint again. I'm like, bet. So if there is another Who's the Man, we waiting on to see what T.I. want to do. And, you definitely need somebody with the juice that can go in there and get that bread and make it happen.
That'll work. So stay tuned for us next year, man. We're going to be doing a television show. We're going to be doing a documentary. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff, man. So stay tuned for us next year.
And Dre,
the network is going to be on, but it's going to be there.
Dre, you just said something about, when this COVID shit is over with, let's get back in the studio and make some music. I got a perfect name for me, you, and T, and whoever else you want to put in this group, bro. We call ourselves OWN. OAN, old ass niggas. And let's just why not, bro?
I got a report you about COVID's in effect.
Oh, that's it.
And some researchers told me this. Back Up Off Me is in the top 10 songs that people play for COVID.
Wow.
Thank you. Back up off me. Back up off me. BACK, off me.
Word.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Come on, let's get the own going on, bro. We're gonna do the craziest trap music niggas ever heard in their life. We're gonna kill everything.
Hey, come on, Ed.
Come on, OAN, old ass niggas.
Me and Greg want a cameo appearance in that joint. We definitely want to.
You got that.
Right. No doubt.
And we're gonna do the premiere. We're gonna do the premiere at your local strip club.
Okay.
And they're gonna be throwing 50 cents. They're gonna throw pennies.
Exactly. Ain't nobody throwing
dollar bills. They're gonna throw pennies and coins. They're gonna throw.
Down here at the Claremont Hotel, the average Asian stripper is 45. You gotta come see this shit. What is mine?
Oh man, that's
I just saw Juvenile with a pair of, well, I don't know if they were strippers, but it's a meme going around. They up there though. I don't know. It's funny.
Right on. There's a market, baby.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thanks, man. We got AllHipHop TV coming up, so we're gonna definitely come back with y'all and figure something out. So yeah,
all right, Chuck, thanks a lot, man, for having me.
Thank you, Chuck, for the blessing. Thank you for your love.
Yeah.
I hope you have a safe, happy holiday with you and your family. And
thank you,
what I say all the time? Namaste, man.
Namaste.
Thank you, brother.
All right, peace.
Thanks, y'all, man. Take care, bro.
Yo, Ed.
What up, Chop?
You still talk to Vanessa?
My wife? I'm married to her.
I mean, the girl we know. The girl we know.
I ain't seen her in a minute, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I ain't
that's
seen
messed
her.
up.
The one from down here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They used to be the flight attendant.
Yeah.
I just talked to her the other day, man. She had a baby, and unfortunately, she lost it, man.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
oh my god!
I think her number's the same. If not, I'll shoot you a number. She would love to hear from you, bro.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna reach out. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. We're gonna really have to edit that. The end of this.
We don't want to blow it up.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all be well, man.
All right.
I'm going to watch football and have a bed and a smoke.
Peace. Thank you.